dokie. I think we're ready. Okie dokie. Wonderful. Let's just tape it here too.
Recording in progress.
Okay, welcome to OrTalk Live. It's a pleasure to see you all and have you all here. Oh, wow, I see some new faces here. That's so nice. Marielle, Shira, the two of you are together. It's so nice to see you all. Okay, I can't see everyone because I don't have, I should put it on gallery view just to see. Okay, well, some people are hiding behind their black, the name on their screens. Okay. So first of all, Zot Chanukah Sameach. I'm so happy to be here with you all. I feel like today is just such a special night. I couldn't have let the night pass by without trying to help us all connect to this beautiful consciousness called Hanukkah and all the beautiful gifts. And I felt like I had actually given a class yesterday on Shabbat, and it was such a beautiful class. Happens to be Marielle was there, so she's going to be bored here. No, I'm just kidding. I'm going to do some repeat of some of the things that I said in yesterday's class, maybe just enhance it a little bit more. But I wanted to first of all have an opportunity to be able to work with us and with our minds in terms of our consciousness, because as we stare into the candles, those of us, of course, who are here in Israel, we stared into our candles, and hopefully, I hope I'm going to still be able to jump out after this class and still find my candles lit to be able to tap into that. But even if not, actually, the question was brought up not too long ago whether or not it's okay to stare into the candles even after the lights went out. And first of all, the Chag of Hanukkah, the festival of Hanukkah, is really 8 days and 8 nights. So really, the idea of miraculous energy and utilizing every moment of these days, it really are days and nights. So I don't want any of us to think that we can only tap into the beauty and the miraculous energy only when we're looking at the candles. Of course, that's the most auspicious time. But at the end of the day, really, we should take advantage of the energy that is here with us throughout the whole period and the whole period in time, even, during the day. So tomorrow, for those of us in Israel who've already lit our candles, just please make sure that you're utilizing every moment of the last moments, I want to say the last hours of these beautiful days called Hanukkah. And Zot Hanukkah in general has its special power. Of course, it's the 8th day, so it's above nature, and the whole idea of really it's the culmination of all that we've been praying for. And we also know that Zot Hanukkah is directly connected to the idea of sort of like the epitome, the end, the culmination of the days of Elul, Rosh Hashanah, Simchas Torah, right? Remember all that? It seems like it was a long time ago, but all of that tefillah, all of our requests, all that we put our mind in, set into when we were davening for our mazel, for our blessings to come through for the whole entire year, that is sort of renewed in consciousness and in our tefillah and in our requests to Hashem. We renew our promises. We renew that which we were asking for on Zot Hanukkah. So don't forget, it's also a beautiful day. Not that every day isn't, but it's a beautiful day for tshuva. So to really come back to where that pristine sense of self and that godly spark, to come back to it as well. So these are just a little bit of pointers, in terms of, Be'ezrat Hashem being able to tap into these last moments of Hanukkah. But believe it or not, what I really wanted to talk about today was how to look at the whole idea of living in a place of light. I want to almost say that in order for us to be able to every day, live in the consciousness of light, live in the consciousness of clarity, which is what the lights of Hanukkah are really here to give to us. We want to be able to, God willing, lift ourselves out of those moments of pain, of difficulties, of challenges. We want to renew our vision, and we want to be able to really see things from a more clear perspective, from a different perspective in general, but definitely from a clearer perspective. So with that being said, I want to refer to some very, very deep but beautiful, beautiful teachings taught over by Rav Yitzchak Ginsburg. I'm actually learning in his program now. This is my third year, Jewish Psychology, Torah Nefesh. And I want to recall some beautiful points along with other messages of lighting up our consciousness. But I want to start off at least today's OrTalk with the idea of understanding one of the most, one of the most basic terminologies that enters into, I want to say, the energy of blocking consciousness and blocking our ability to attach ourselves to Emuna, is when we find ourselves in a place called what we call trauma. And there's a lot of usage of the word trauma. There's a lot of talk about PTSD, right, post-traumatic syndrome, and the whole idea of what do we do with traumas. And traumas, if we want to define what a trauma is an event that's stuck in consciousness, stuck, I want to say, in time, where I'm sort of, I'm left in the pain of an event. It's frozen in time, and I haven't completed the process in terms of working through the understanding and the depths. And I want to say the godly message, I haven't extracted out the godly message that Hashem wants to give. And we have to know that trauma is part of the process of tikkun. It is a central part. Traumas, I hate to say it, we have to know what was, so to speak, God's intention when he gave us the idea, the experiences of trauma, that we need to understand that it's part of the journey of the soul to reach its ultimate culmination of consciousness of the oneness of God. So when I say that a person's stuck in trauma, what it really means is that person has yet to finish the process. The process is sort of stuck in time, and because of that, they're left in the ra, in the bad, in the anguish, and in the pain, as opposed to utilizing it and going through it, and through it, elevating up to a better place, a place of growth, of change, of oneness, of love, of light, and of healing. So one of the beautiful teachings of Rav Ginsburg is he teaches us like this, and he says the word trauma. First of all, let me go back to the 1200s. In the 1200s, there was an amazing, wise sage rabbi. His name was Rav Avraham Abulafia. And Rav Abulafia, back then, took the words that were were diluted down since the days of Bavel. We know that at the days of Bavel, what had happened was the Hebrew language got mixed up, and the sparks of the language, the holiness and clarity of understanding of life through the Hebrew language got diluted and scattered amongst the nations of the world, and therefore there were other languages that were sort of born out of the Hebrew language during the time of the Tower of Babel. And so Rav Abulafia took upon himself, amongst other beautiful lights of consciousness that he left behind for us, that he wanted to redeem back the sparks of holiness from the Hebrew language that were scattered in the 70 languages of the world. So he would take words in the other languages And through gematriot and numerical values and different associations and unifications, he would look to find the in-depth Torah perspective of certain words in other languages. So now that we left that, we have that baseline. Now let's move forward and go to Rav Ginsburg's teachings. And he goes like this, and he took the word trauma. Okay, again, feeding off of this idea of Rav Abulafia taking the words from the English language, let's say, and trying to figure out what Jewish holy, in-depth, conscious, light-filled spark is in there, so that we could go ahead and understand more the depths of the nefesh of our soul. So if you take the word trauma and you spell it in Hebrew, trauma, you spell it Tet Resh Aleph Vav Mem He. Okay? And if you sort of break it apart, you could break it up into 3 different sections. You have the Tet, you have a words, the Resh Aleph Vav spells Re'u, and then you have the last 2 letters spell Ma. So Tet, Re'u, Ma. Okay, we're not going to go into the actual numerical value at this point. I would just say that it's interesting that Rav Ginsburg actually teaches that the whole idea of trauma, because you have the letter Tet as the first letter, it actually associates the fact that this event called trauma was either repeated 9 times. Tet, the numerical value of Tet is 9, so it was either repeated 9 times in a person's life, or that the situation that they went through was 9 times as intense as a regular situation that they would have gone through, and hence it's called a trauma. So basically that the whole idea of the Tet and the 9 has, of course, its association with the word. But again, I'm not going to get too much in terms of the numerical value. I just want you to understand that in every, in all the other languages, there are, again, those sparks of wisdom that we can extract and understand what is the Torah teaching us even through that. Because there is no real word for trauma, so to speak, in the Hebrew language, other than when we say, trauma, like that's the way we'll actually say it, trauma. We just say it with the Hebrew accent. Okay, what is the rest? So you have, first of all, the letter Tet. So let's go and talk about that for a moment. Tet, again, we said, association, numerical value, Tet equals 9. 9 reminds us of the 9 months of pregnancy. So the letter Tet, and by the way, I'm going to be giving a Jewish numerology program actually starting this Tuesday. You're welcome to join, where we go through all the alphabet, we go through all the numbers, we go through even the zodiac signs and the understanding of your name, and mapping out your strengths and your weaknesses, and it's a fascinating trip and program. But one of the things we learn in this program, and in general, what we know with the letter Tet, if you look at the way Tet is written in the Torah, the letter Tet looks like it's like a womb, and then you have this little, we call it chupchik, right? You have this little, hanging part that's sort of like inside the womb. So you can even see by the shape of the letter Tet that it sort of reminisces this womb with the little, fetus sort of tucked inside. And so we understand that the whole idea of Tet reminds us of this process of rebirth. Something new needs to be coming out from it. Okay? And so let's leave that on the side. Now let's associate with the Re'u and Ma. So again, furthering to understand what it means to be in a state of trauma, we have to understand that one of the most common emotional baggages and blockages and difficulties that people go through in life that's considered for them a trauma, one of the most common associations that they make with it would be, nobody understands my pain. Trauma, one of the things that we can associate with the whole idea of trauma is that a person in trauma feels at one point or another, if not all the time, I'm alone, nobody's with me, not God, not anybody. I'm alone in my pain. No matter how much anybody's trying to help me, they'll never be able to really understand me. Just, does anybody notice? Is anybody paying attention? Is anybody seeing me? Re'u, right? We said trauma has the word re'u. Please see me. See me, right? And somebody's asking, will the recording? Yes, the recording will be put on Torah anytime, Bezat Hashem. Okay, so it will be uploaded. So if anybody, will not be able to stay for the length of the program, yes, it will be recorded and posted on my Torah Anytime page. So one of the things already we're getting into is that there's some sort of a rebirth, tet, of re'u, of how things are being seen. But now let's go and move on to the last two letters of trauma. Mem He is ma, means there's a rebirth of how I see ma, that, right? What do I need to be seeing? The calling out of trauma in terms of understanding is that I need to be seeing something. Ma, I need to be, ma means what? I need to be able to see something else from within the situation that I went through, this very intense or this repetitive, a painful event that, so to speak, a person goes through. I need to be able to see it from a completely different perspective. But not only that, tet re'u, right? The whole idea of giving birth to the new birth. But not only do I have to see ma, I have to renew the way that I see that thing, that what? Like what? What am I seeing here? But I also have to see it from a perspective of Mem He, me, Hashem. It's from Hashem. The way to exit trauma is to be able to see the perspective from a more godly perspective than what I saw it initially. And that hidden inside the word trauma, we can already understand that it's a matter of changing, right? Changing that perspective. Because again, one of the things that is most commonly found in people who go through trauma or in post-traumatic syndrome, right, is that they feel, like I said, that nobody sees them. No matter what pain, the mindset that they go through is, no matter what pain anybody has gone through in their entire life, nobody can see it from my perspective. Nobody knows what I'm going through. And even though they're in pain, their pain is not my pain. I'm in much deeper pain than anybody else. I mean, nobody has it as bad as me. There's sort of like this main sort of like victimhood of feeling very, very alone. So the bottom line is, what we want to understand here is that when a person's in trauma, okay, in order to light up consciousness, we got to talk about how we're really feeling. And there isn't anybody who doesn't feel this way. And we have to recognize that, and we have to accept that. We have to be with Hachna and surrender to the fact that's part of the tikkun of the nefesh, of the neshama. The neshama has to go through certain traumas. And in fact, guess what? We were all born into trauma. Why? Because just the fact that we left Kiseh Kavod and we left the holy throne, this holy throne, we had everything there. Can you imagine, just for a moment, think to yourself that everything, every need, everything you have ever wanted in your entire life, money, power, recognition, love, contentment, anything you've ever wanted in your entire life. Imagine that everything you've ever wanted, you have. That is the place from which we were carved away at the holy throne in Shemayim. That's the place we felt, so to speak, we were separated from in Shemayim, from the holy throne. Is that not trauma? Can you imagine that you had everything you ever wanted? Anything you ever wanted. And then suddenly, wait a minute, all the goodness, all the livelihood, everything, all the presents, all the light, love. It's gone. So from the beginning, just being put into body limited form is a place of trauma. So even if you can't imagine or associate a particular event in your life with trauma, you have to understand that we're all in trauma. Etzem kiyumenu, just the fact that we're here in the universe in body form, away from our source, cut away and fragmented from our true self, that in and of itself is a state of trauma. So this is so important. It's so important because we have a mindset that we think we came into this world and we got broken in this world. I want us to understand that we entered into this world. This world is called Olam Hatikun. It's called a world of correction, of rectification, of soul perfection and rectification and elevation. If you take the word tikkun and you play around, anybody who goes to any of the Emuna energy classes, they know I love to play Scrabble. One of the things I picked up from the Holy Baal Shem Tov is trying to play around with the letters of the word, the different words, and to create different associations, which is, I got my inspiration from Ginsburg, right? And in reading the Torahs of the Holy Baal Shem Tov, when you take the word tikkun and you could switch the letters around, it spells two different other words. I'm sure it spells more, but for our class tonight, we'll stick with the two. It spells the word tinok, a baby. So the word tikkun, correction, can also spell the word tinok, baby, and also spells the word nituk, to be severed off. What that means is when you could take a word and you could associate it either through its shoresh, through its minimum two letters, and or three, and in general, if you could switch the letters around and spell something else, then we know through Torah wisdom that there's an association and there's a commonality between the words. So what does the word tikkun have to do with tinok, baby, and has to do with nituk, severance? So one of the things that we're here to fix, one of the things that the soul is here to fix, is it's here to fix the sense of nituk, of severance. The severance that I explained to you before, that cutting off, so to speak, that trauma of being separated from all good, having everything in the entire universe and then having that sort of be taken away, that's one of the consciousness, whatever, however you say that, okay, tongue twister there, that needs to be corrected in this world. And one of the ways that we can correct it is by renewal, by constantly looking to give birth to new ways of looking at things, hence the word tinok. Again, there are many layers to this. There's many other ways. I'm sure already your minds are churning different ways of being able to associate this whole masterpiece of understanding. But for our purposes, let's just keep it simple and say that one of the things that we are here to heal is to heal the fragmented sense of being disconnected, being led astray. And so again, going back to what I said before, we think that we came into this world, so to speak, unbroken, and we were okay, and that this world and the circumstances of what happened with my mother, father, and childhood, and the circumstances of my life sort of brought me and caused me, so to speak, to be broken. And I'm here to say to you that that's completely incorrect. From the beginning, we came into this world in trauma. From the beginning, we came in here with the mindset of, look at me. Hello, Hashem. Can you just look at me? Right? I'm your maidservant. I am your servant. I am your child. Do you know that I'm here? Do you know that I exist? You're not, so to speak, trauma. You're not providing me. You're not doing for me. You're not healing me. That's trauma. So the trauma is when we feel that Hashem is, so to speak, not listening, not looking, not and not noticing us, and that puts us in a state of tremendous crisis. So now we have to understand that we came in this world already with this mindset, and everything added on, right, into from childhood up until current age, until where we are right now, right? That all needs to be healed. We are here to correct that mindset. We are here to enlighten that mindset to something else. So Teva, the nature of this world, that's the sort of place by default that we fall into, where we feel disconnected, not looked at, not cared for, alone. Nobody understands my pain, and I'm on my own. And we're here to heal from that consciousness. And in fact that's Mashiach consciousness. Mashiach is going to be our therapist. He's coming in, Be'ezrat Hashem, soon, today, Zot Chanukah. He is coming into this world in order to bring us back from this broken reality that we originated from, to open up those shards and see the light. And he is the Rofeh. He is the doctor. He's giving us Refuat HaNefesh. So he's bringing us back to the consciousness of oneness of Hashem is here. He always was here. He is here. And he will always be here. He's here to remind us of that consciousness, of that oneness, and that connection. And so where could we get to that right now? And how is this also connected to Hanukkah? And one of the reasons, by the way, that I was inspired to give this OrTalk, I just want to make a connection here, is because this consciousness that I'm talking about I'm just giving you the scratch of the surface, but this consciousness is going to actually be, I'm going to tie this, please Hashem, may it be your will, I'm going to tie this consciousness and the repair of the consciousness in my upcoming 4-night, 5-day healing retreat in Orlando, Florida, Rosh Chodesh Adar Aleph, happening February 2nd to February 6th. Please Hashem, may it be your will. We're going to have an amazing retreat in 2 mansions that are being rented in Orlando, Florida. So I'm inviting everyone to find out more information, by the way, on oramunaenergy.com/Orlando, and get all the information. Limited spots. So I'm inviting you all to come and get the information and book now. So this whole deepening of this consciousness, that the preparation of this healing retreat sort of inspired me to say I'm going to give a taste of it already to the wider audience, so that we can understand it. What better time to do it than during the days of Hanukkah? So when we look into those candles, what we really want to change in terms of our vision, because that's why we were supposed to gaze, Ela lirotam, to see the candles, bilvad. All you have to do is ask Hashem to enlighten your eyes so that you could see him. Me Hashem, give birth. That's what trauma, to exit trauma. The answer to exiting trauma is in the word of trauma. You're going to ask Hashem to help for you to be able to renew, to give birth to a new sense of vision. What is that new sense of vision? Re'u me Hashem. See, it's all from Hashem. Everything. Change the way that you see yourself. By the way, how is the idea of seeing yourself differently also embedded and hidden in the word trauma? So when we said tet re'u ma, the gematria, the numerical value of ma, is 45. 45 is the same numerical value as the word Adam, man. So embedded in tet re'u ma, trauma, is also give birth to a new way of seeing yourself. Re'u Adam, see yourself from a completely different perspective. See how you can grow from it. See how you can be stronger from it. See how you could be a catalyst of light for others, and mashpia tov, and be able to share that light, that understanding, the newfound wisdom that you're gaining from this painful situation, albeit don't get stuck in it. No, it's part of the process of your neshama. It's part of the puzzle of getting to the other side, of connecting back to the oneness you can't go through. And we know this from the Ramchal. The Ramchal says that the world is filled with nisyonot, and the nisyonot are traumas. Because the whole idea of a nisayon is when I feel constricted and I feel alone and I feel it's challenging, it's hard, I feel boggled down by all these difficulties. And where are you, Hashem? And now I need to see myself from a different perspective. I need to see myself from in an elevated perspective from all this. And I need to be able to see Hashem from this whole fragmented consciousness that was initially sort of, at the forefront of this situation. I need to be able to see it from a completely different perspective. And we have to elevate ourselves from this natural way of looking at life. Now, I'm here to say everybody falls into that trap. Don't think you're anything unique or different because you're seeing things from a constricted and restricted perspective. Don't think for one moment that you're different from anybody else. This is Teva. This is the natural state of mankind. Because like I said, we were all brought down from a fragmented existence, brought into a fragmented existence, only to find ourselves going through the process of traumas to make it to the other side in terms of a tikkun, letting go, severing off from the way I looked at things before, and giving birth to a completely new, different way of being able to look at things from that renewed perspective. And by the way, the best time to exit trauma is during Hanukkah. Because again, how many candles, including the shamash, do we see on that menorah? 9. Trauma is all 9. It's all about giving birth, right? So one of the ways to be able to exit trauma is to be able to say, hey, in the zchut and in the merit Hashem, even though we're not supposed to, count the shamash, but it's there. There's still 9 candles, right? There's a reason why there are 9 candles, including the shamash, so that we can elevate and give birth to something new, and it's in the power of Hanukkah that we're able to do that. So going back to one last thing before we go into meditation, the whole idea of Teva, which I said before, don't be surprised, don't be upset with yourself. Don't think you're miktaneha emuna, that you don't have a lot of emuna, because you right away go to the place of, where are you, Hashem? That's sort of like the natural place everyone drops into when you're in human form, in body form, in limited form, when we come into this body. And we're here to correct that. Again, we came in with this broken mindset, and we need to change that mindset. So naturally, we all, from a Teva perspective, we all sort of fall into that place of seeing sort of the bad and associating with the bad. And by the way, if you give too much koach and too much energy to seeing things in your life from a place of bad, I want you to know that I dare to say that when you see things from a bad perspective, you're sort of seeing it from you're sort of borderline seeing it from a place of from a place of avodah zarah, from idolatry. Why? We know that Hashem is all good. We learn this. That's what we believe. In the depths and in the impressions of our subconsciousness, we all know. Nobody has to sell us a story. We all know. We witnessed it. When we were up in the Kisei Kavod, we witnessed the goodness, the benevolence, the kindness, the loving kindness of our Abba, our Tati, and Shamayim. We know this. Nobody has to convince us anything about this. And so we know that everything about Hashem is good. So if we see something bad, then it feels as though there's something else in the universe but the good. Because Hashem is all good and the world is all God, which means that the world is all good, or everything in the world is good. Again, this is Hasidic. This is the Torah Hasidut. This is the way that is brought down from the Torah, the Holy Baal Shem Tov. This is the way we're supposed to be seeing, is that everything is good. It's just covered up in a husk. It's enclosed and shelled up and hidden in a shard, in a klipa, in a husk of darkness. You just have to open up the package and see what's hiding inside. Yagata umatzata. You have to try hard. V'matzata ta'amin. That's what you should believe in. After your yagia, after you try, after you go and tear away at the facade of bad, matzata. You found good. You found the light. You found Hashem's message in the bottle. Ta'amin. That's what you should believe in. You should believe that all along it was only good. It was never bad from the beginning. It was just hidden. I always like to leave the mindset and the idea that when you order something, and I'm going to give a pitch here to Amazon. I know I should probably ask them for something, but when you order something, let's say from Amazon, from a company, and then they whatever, at the end of the day you get it and it comes to you in a box, and you're like, where's the item that I ordered? Well, did you open up the box? The box has been sitting there. It's been delivered to you. It's there. Did you open up the box? Life is about opening up. It's about opening up yourself, opening up the circumstance of your life, digging and finding. Yagato matzata ta'amin. You have to go and not take things for face value and go deep within. So what does this have to do with Teva? So I want to just share with you one last beautiful understanding of what it means to break away from your nature. Again, nature, human nature, is everything that I see. I sort of see it from a perspective of, I'm alone, it's hard, who's going to help me, what's going to be, how am I going to make through it, and I don't have the ability to do this on my own, which, by the way, nobody has the ability to do anything on their own. That's why we have tefillah. That is why we have to daven to Hashem, to reach out and ask for His presence, His light, His clarity, His wisdom, His solutions to come into my life and show me the way. Horeni Hashem dalkecha, show me the way. Show me what I need to be doing with my life, right? That's calling and lightening the consciousness. So the idea is, in Teva, if we want to correct nature, we need to be able to see the hand of Hashem. We need to be able to see Hashem in Teva. That's the whole reason. Teva is also a klipa. It's also a husk. It covers up the beautiful hand of Hashem, His loving kindness, His goodness. Look how in the word Teva you find you have an idea, the solution of what you're supposed to be doing with Teva. What are you supposed to be doing with Teva? Tov Ayin. The way you spell Teva is Tet Bet Ayin. Tet Bet, the first two letters of Teva spell the word Tov. The last letter is Ayin, my eyes, going back to trauma. I'm here to correct my vision. What am I supposed to be doing with this Teva of mine, where I right away see negative, bad, fragmentation, alone, challenges, and difficulty? I'm supposed to elevate that Teva and to see Ayin Tov, see good. That is what I'm supposed to that is how I correct my nature. That's how I correct nature in general, is to see the good. Not only that, but the shoresh of the words Tviat Ayin, which means in Hebrew, the perception, your perception. Everyone talks about changing your perception, changing mindfulness, changing your mind. Again, something I'm going to be talking a lot about in this beautiful retreat. Please, Hashem, I'm inviting, I really am, I'm encouraging and inviting everybody to sign up. We want to be able to change our perception. We want to be able to see things from a different perspective. The word Teva is embedded in the word Tviat Ayin, to be able to have a keen perception, to be able to zoom in. Tviat Ayin means, like I can hone in on something and I could see it in its proper form and in a beautiful, clear perspective. That's what Tviat Ayin is. So the bottom line is, I want us to all understand, and this is not even just only associated with Hanukkah. There's a lesson here for every day, every moment of our lives. It's to be able to recognize that the job of Yisrael, the job of the Jewish people, the job as we are a light onto nations, our job is to teach the world that everything is connected to God. And that is connected in the word Yisrael. Yisrael spells the two words, Yashar, El. We are here to connect everything to Hashem. That's where the refuah is. That's where the healing is. The reason why I'm in pain from the beginning, we said trauma, is nobody sees me. Hashem, I don't know if you're here. I don't know where you are in this pain of mine, right? So the minute we're able to correct that consciousness, we're already exiting out of trauma. We're already changing our nature. We're already creating the forefront and the foundation for a ness and a miracle to come down into our lives. Because what is a miracle? A miracle is above nature. So if I break my nature and I see things differently, I remember things differently, I'm thinking above my logical brain, which is teva. If I go and break my teva, my midas, my way of thinking, I'm already in the proper kli and vessel, lining myself up to receive something above nature, which is the whole idea of Hanukkah and Ness and miracles. So this is the time, again, let's utilize these days, whatever hours are left for us, please Hashem, to be able to correct our vision, to be able to give birth to a new way of seeing things. And I'd like for us to, again, go into a little bit of a meditation. I want to say that anytime you feel like you want to do a little bit of meditation, and maybe at another time, and certainly, again, during the healing retreat in general, in regards to a lot of the programs that are taught through Aura Energy Institute, and the online programs that I teach, Be'ezrat Hashem, I speak a lot about meditation. And I want to just add this little point that when you meditate in front of a candle, and I always encourage light a candle in the memory and in honor of a tzaddik, because you're able to right away, your soul, which is of course the candle, right? When you light a candle, your soul gets ignited. When you light a candle and you ignite the energy and the memory and the Torah and the righteousness of a tzaddik, and it could be any tzaddik. It doesn't have to be particularly as your tzaddik, or everybody has a tzaddik that they're connected to, right? For me, it's the Baal Shem Tov. There's plenty others, but find that tzaddik that you're connected to. When you light a candle and you meditate in front of a candle, you're basically exposing your soul more on a more profound level, and you're able to really grab hold more of the soul's consciousness. So I'm always, and it's in addition to the idea, again, Hanukkah has its own energy, gazing into the lights, but gazing into the flame of a candle, or more than one candle, of course, giving tzedakah before that, and maybe even definitely you want to enhance the experience. You want to learn a little bit of the Torah of the tzaddik that you're lighting a candle for. It's an amazing experience. It'll take your meditation to a completely different experience. And you're going to feel automatically that your ability to let go of the coarse reality of your body, which what is meditation? It's about going within and hearing within and seeing within and delving to a deeper place beyond your coarse physicality. It'll become so much more easier. You'll have what to ride on, so to speak, in terms of, being able to exit, again, the blockage, so to speak, for meditative purposes, not for everyday purposes. Your body is not a blockage. Your body is a vehicle and a factory for mitzvahs, but for the purpose of meditation, it's good to try to exit a little bit of the coarseness of the physicality and to be able to ascend in consciousness to a much more deeper place, and out of body to some degree. I don't want anybody flying to the moon, but you know what I mean, like to be able to see things, which is what we were saying, see things from an elevated perspective. Okay, so let's go into just a couple moments of meditation. I want to put you through a really beautiful, deep meditation. You could do this again anytime, not necessarily connected to Hanukkah, although it's beautiful to be able to do this in front of the Hanukkah candles for those whose candles are still lighting here in Israel, and those who are in Chutz La'aretz who have yet to light still. But in general, this is a gorgeous, short, to the point, sweet meditation to be able to do at any point in time, in terms of tapping in and enlightening your consciousness. So I invite you. I'm going to make the background frequency music a little bit louder. And again, if anybody wants to be in touch with me regarding any programs, the Healing Retreat, or EmunaEnergy.com, DailyDoseOfEmuna.com. In 2 weeks, we're going to do another OrTalk. I'm going to bring in a special guest. Her name is Liba. She's actually one of the facilitators that's going to be coming to the Florida, Orlando retreat. And we're going to talk also a little bit more about lighting up our consciousness, part 2. And we'll talk a little bit about the retreat and what we're going to be doing on the retreat and how we're going to be associating everything with the meals and yoga and laughing workshop for Adar Aleph and the 4 elements, elevating all the 4 elements of consciousness. It's really going to be fascinating. I'm very much looking forward to it. Okay, everybody, go into your beautiful state of quiet. My voice will slowly get softer, and I'm going to invite you all to close your eyes. Find yourself a comfortable place. Make sure your back is safely supported, that you feel your arms are at rest, either on an armrest or put them gently on your lap. And as you're paying attention to your breathing, softening up to it, tapping into the energy of connection, bringing to the forefront of your mind Hashem's presence and His love. I want you to deepen the consciousness of His love into your mind. Remind yourself how much He loves you, how He's with you. I'm going to ask you to bring up, and let this be very, very spontaneous, okay? I want you to bring up to mind a challenge. Try not to let it be too much of a hard challenge right now. I don't want it to go too deep. Just bring, just something that you're struggling with, that you would love to be able to feel more clarity, see the light, see it from a different perspective. Just bring that to mind, that challenge. And I want you, in your mind's eye, as you're breathing and your eyes are gently closed in this relaxed state with Hashem's love with you right here, I want you to take that challenge in whatever form it comes, and I want you to draw in your mind's eye the letter Samach around it. Put your challenge in the letter Samach. And the letter Samach will be just exited the month of Kislev. We're in the month of Tevet. It's a different letter, but the last month, Kislev, was Sefer Yetzirah brings down, as you're seeing this challenge in the Samach, I'm just explaining that the letter associated with the month of Kislev is the letter Samach. And why? Because the letter Samach is like a round circle. It's that womb, that safe, protected, secure place. I want you to put that challenge in the hands of Hashem in whatever way that means to you, in the letter Samach. Putting the intention, Somech Noflim, Hashem, you elevate all those that fall. You elevate all the downfalls of my life. And I'm placing it in your hands, in the letter Samach, in a close circle, knowing that you are embracing it. You're with me, and I'm not alone. And we're going to put out a little prayer, an intention. You can repeat after me. I'll say it slowly. I'll say it in English, a little prayer, a little intention. Or you could just let me say the words. And Be'ezrat Hashem, you could just, put that intention as though it's your intention, as though you're saying it. Please, Hashem, may it be your will that your light shine in every place that appears to be lonely. May your light readily shine and reveal itself and dispel the darkness of it all. Let there be light. Just let those words simmer. Let there be light. And just take a nice deep breath. We're not done yet. One last part of this meditation. We're going to go back to Sefer Bereshis, Parak Aleph, Pasuk Gimel, where Hashem brings about the creation of the universe. And there are 4 words that are actually associated with one of Hashem's holy names, which we won't get into. But when we say these 4 words, and I'll say them now, but I'm going to want you to repeat after me, not yet. Yihi O, Vayihi O. Right? When Hashem pronounces, let there be light, let there be light, and then there was light. I'm going to say it in Hebrew. We're going to say it 8 times and meditate on the meaning of the idea that when Hashem pronounces and when we believe that there's light, the light appears, Hashem reveals, and Hashem embraces. So keeping in mind that this challenge is still embraced in the letter Samach, we put out our intention that we know and we trust that Hashem will reveal, Be'ezrat Hashem, a level of light, of ease, of comfort, of love into the situation that we're facing. We're going to repeat these 4 words from Bereshis 8 times. 8 above Teva as Hanukkah. But again, this meditation could be done all year round. So just repeat after me 8 times. Yihi O, Vayihi O. Yihi O, Vayihi O. Yihi O, Vayihi O. Yihi O, Vayihi O. Permeate this into the challenge that's embraced by the Samach. All this Kavanah, put it into that. Put it into the challenge embraced by the Samach. Yihi O, Vayihi O. Yihi O, Vayihi O. Yihi O, Vayihi O. Last time. Yihi O, Vayihi O. And just breathe into that with bitachon, with trust, knowing that Hashem is opening up. He's going to, Be'ezrat Hashem, may it be Hashem's will that you should be able to see your situation from a new light. And you trust that when the time comes, when it's right, when your vessel is prepared, that you will be able to see this from a different light. Take a nice deep breath in. Breathe in that trust, that Emuna, that consciousness. Expel doubts, exhale doubts, negativity, hesitations, fears. Again, one more breath in. Emuna, bitachon, light, love. And exhale, blockages, negativity, darkness. And feel yourself again back in the chair or in the bed or wherever it is that you're sitting right now. Feel the back against the back of the chair or wherever it is that you're sitting. Feel your arms wiggle, your toes. Allow the crack of the sides of your mouth to begin to form a beautiful smile of Emuna and trust, contentment and happiness and gratitude to Hashem for enabling you to see this new way, new light. You brought it back to creation. Please Hashem, may it be your will that something new will be created from this. And you can open up your eyes. Thank you Hashem, thank you Hashem for enabling this night to happen. Thank you all for being here. Again, I'm inviting you to join Emuna Energy, dailydoseofemuna.com. It's a blog I write for free. Sign up. Get your daily inspiration of Emuna. We all need it. We need a daily dose, a medicine of Emuna every day. Every day. Nobody can go without it. Every day. I'm inviting you to be part of it. There's also, if you want to join the OrTalk's WhatsApp group, twice a week I put out a podcast also talking about positive energy, emotions, and Emuna, all for free, all there for you to help us all get into Geula consciousness, lift up our consciousness, look at things differently. Trust me, I'm a spetz at going through traumas. Been there, done that, going through it, doing it. Takes one to know one. We're all going through it together. We all have to hold hands through it. We all have to hold hands, and we all have to keep maintaining hope and learning and reminding ourselves how much Hashem loves us and how He's with us. He was with us, He is with us, and He will always be with us. And we just have to remind ourselves of this every single breathing moment of our lives. And so, yes, stay in touch. Join us again in 2 weeks from now, same time, same place. And Be'ezrat Hashem will continue to spread the light, share the light, and work together to bringing and hastening the consciousness of Geula, because it's just around the corner. Please Hashem, don't forget to daven and ask Hashem to redeem first the Shechina, redeem Him from the Galus, and Be'ezrat Hashem we will follow as well. Sending you all lots of love, Emuna hugs, and thank you so much for coming. And looking forward to seeing you again very, very soon. Thank you so much. Have a wonderful night. Zot Hanukkah Sameach.
Thank you.
Thank you so much. Thank you.
Thank you.
And by the way, the recording again will be up on Torah anytime. Be'ezrat Hashem.